Okay, welcome back. So we're going to be looking at factoring by grouping in this video, and it's a really helpful skill that makes it so we can easily identify factors for letters. So we have our first one. It's x, y plus 3, x plus 2, y plus 6. And factoring by grouping is basically going to look at different groups and we're going to find common factors between them. So we're only going to consider the first two terms first, then the next two terms, and so on. And we're going to try and simplify it or find a way to make them easier to work with. So let's look at our first two. What's a common factor between 3x and xy? Well, they're both multiplied by x. So let's pull the x out the front and we're left with y plus 3. Now let's look at our second group. They don't have any pronumerals in common, but 6 and 2 have a common factor in 2. So let's pull out the positive 2 and do y plus 3. And look, we've got two numbers that are both being multiplied by the same binomial, so we can rewrite this as x plus 2 multiplied by y plus 3. And that's our answer. So it's not a tricky task, and it is incredibly useful to be able to do this. Let's move on to our next one. So we have 2ab plus 6a plus b plus 3. Let's look at our first two. What do they have in common? Well, they both have multiples of 2 and they're both multiples of a. So we're going to immediately rewrite this as 2a out the front. 2ab divided by 2a leaves us with b, and 6a divided by 2a. The a's cancel, and 6 divided by 2 is just 3. Then we've got b plus 3, which is what we want to end up with. We can always again factor out a 1, so b plus 3 is left like that, and we factored by grouping, and we can end up with 2a plus 1 multiplied by b plus 3. Let's move on to our third one. So we have x cubed minus 4x squared plus 3x minus 12. Alright, so we're trying to find common factors between these two terms first. They're both being multiplied by x. In fact, they're both being multiplied by x squared. And you can think about x cubed as x squared multiplied by another x. So they both have the potential to factor out the x squared. Alright, factoring out the x squared, we end up with x cubed divided by x squared. Well, that's just going to be x. And negative 4x squared divided by x squared is going to be negative 4. Alright, what's the common factor between these two? They don't share a pronumeral, but they do share a common factor in both these numbers are multiples of positive 3. So we can pull out the positive 3. 3x divided by 3 is just x, and negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. The end result is x squared plus 3 multiplied by x minus 4. And we're done. Alright, let's look at another one. We have 6xy minus 9x plus 4y minus 6. Okay, our first two, what do they have in common? Well, they're both multiples of 3 and they're both multiples of x. So let's pull out a 3x from both of them. 6xy divided by 3x will leave us with 2y, and then negative 9x divided by 3x is just going to be minus 3, plus what do we have here? We have a common, the only common factor I can see between these is a 2. So let's pull out a 2. 4y divided by 2 is 2y. Negative 6 divided by 2 is minus 3. And we're left with 3x plus 2 times 2y minus 3. Alright, here's our last one. 2x cubed plus x squared minus 6x minus 3. Right, again, we're going to be looking at our first two first. What do they have in common? Well, we can rewrite this as 2x squared multiplied by x plus x squared minus 6x minus 3. And the reason we do this is to point out that both of these are factors of x squared. Okay, so the common factor between these two terms here is going to be x squared. That'll be our highest common factor. Now, pulling out the x squared, 2x cubed divided by x squared is just going to be 2x. And then x squared divided by x squared is 1. Looking at these two terms here, what's a common value between them? Well, we can pull out the minus 3 if we like. We can pull out 3. So let's just pull out our 3. Okay, let's pull out 3 as a common value. Okay, 6x minus 6x divided by 3. Well, what's that going to be? That's going to be minus 2x, and then this is going to be minus 1. So that doesn't quite work. So what we need to do is change this to a negative 3. A minus 3. And the reason is we need both of our binomials to be the same. So we pull out a minus 3 from this. We get 6x, minus 6x divided by minus 3 is going to be 2x, and minus 3 divided by minus 3 is positive 1. And now we have the same binomial between them, and we can rewrite this as x squared minus 3 times 2x plus 1. So that is the reason why you have to check that you end up with the same binomial. So you might just make a mistake. Okay, let's move on to, oh, no, that's our last one. So hopefully this is helpful, and I will see you in the next one.